Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's plot will make you laugh till your belly hurts. This is our little secret. Heading home. How'd you know? Sometimes, well, Abby meets her dream prince. Come on, Mom, we're independent. After they left, Abby mocked no hope with that. Pursuing my mom is tough. You're still at 0 points. Well, I'm off to score some points. Sweet. Are you serious? Abby's challenge worked. Jack reluctantly cooked, and he sneaked in late. She pretended to be nonchalant and casually asked what happened during the day. Handsome, clearly good at gathering in, and he praised endlessly, leaving Jack tangled. He excused himself with illness and slipped to his room. For a while, Jack alienated her, the happy vibe gone henny unaware. She thought she was busy with other things while Abby looked on, feeling exasperated yet determined to help out the future hubby she was. Where's Abby? Abby, it looks like we're ready to roll. We can confirm Annie has nothing else going on. Jack seized the opportunity Abby created under the dim lights. She couldn't help but ask, so, have you finally agreed to be with her? Hearing Annie deny it, he was instantly in high spirits. As the misunderstanding cleared, Abby peeked out. The progression alerted Jack. He decided to make his move. Can we walk a bit together? Can we sit for a moment? Sounds good, I wanted to. Guided by Jack, they walked into the woods chatting about childhood, future, dating, and settling down. Chatted like two lovebirds strolling by the river. When they passed a bench, Jack told Annie to close her eyes. Then he picked a strawberry from under the bench and gently put it in her mouth. Annie opened her eyes, their gazes locked, heating up the ambience. I really need to head over to the library. Now. Really? Wait, I'll go first. I want to ask you, do you want to go to my favorite restaurant for the best food in the world? They'll totally love it. Jack's bold invitation was met with a smile. Annie returned to the villa, pulling out the red dress. Abby couldn't help but chuckle, with a knowing smile at her mum, as if understanding her intention. SHH. They were off on their first date. In a convertible, they cruised breezy roads to romantic countryside, reaching their destination under dreamy moonlight. They noticed they'd been sitting at their reserved spot for ages, yet the food was nowhere in sight. Jack apologized but sneakily went to the kitchen, discovering there was only one chef here. The other had resigned that morning. So he didn't hesitate to step in and started whipping up their meals himself. When he returned to his seat, he found Annie cheerfully playing the role of a having such a mishap on their first official date. Jack felt deeply ashamed, yet Annie seemed unfazed, even thinking it was quite after romantic nurturing. Annie's creativity flowed, and her novel progressed rapidly. On Jack's side, with Abby's help, he also swiftly finished preparing for the competition. The trio enjoyed some real vacation vibes, splashing around in the villa pool, then playing poker. When they got tired of good times, they naturally defined their relationship. The town's cooking competition began. Jack ran into the critic who ruined his career. Jack held no resentment towards him and, after a calm period, began truly confronting his own issues. The competition of contestants bustled on stage as Abby worked efficiently as his assistant. After some time teaming up, they hit their stride and completed their dish with ease. But just before Jack could serve the judges, the guy who had chased Annie made his move first, and the dish he made was oddly similar to Jack's. In desperation, Jack had to improvise and change the ingredients. Ultimately, he completed his dish just before the competition concluded, and they nervously arrived at the announcement that evening. Through his effort, he clinched the championship. During the celebration activity in the room, he deliberately sought out the American critic and expressed his thanks, as the dish he had prepared today was unexpectedly delicious indeed. Winning the French flavor contest praised by an American critic restored his former glory, but as they celebrated, Jack's former assistant rushed in after getting the news as they excitedly discussed plans for the future restaurant. Suddenly, Annie thought of something she had never considered. Her vacation would end, and Jack would return to the restaurant as her head chef. She couldn't just bail on her daughter. She had to make sure her daughter was taken care of while attending school in New York. She couldn't selfishly ask Jack to quit his job either. At this point, Annie was engulfed in inner turmoil. boss suggested they could do long-distance dating, but only Annie knew how tough it was to maintain a relationship at a distance as a single mother. Seeing her daughter at the door, she hung up, and the morning light spilled through the window. Jack came by to invite Annie for breakfast, only to find her in the middle of packing her bags. Subsequently, they both sat down together on the bed. Annie narrated her psychological journey during this time and shared her helplessness. Jack could empathize with her struggle. They were at an age where love wasn't the only consideration. Considering life's reality, after giving up his gift, the duo headed to the airport, the car atmosphere heavy with emotion. Jack didn't come out to bid farewell, fearing he might do something he'd regret. He walked to Anna's room and saw a manuscript on the table. Jack, long curious, couldn't resist opening it.